Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Block Party number 96, our second Food Healer session, our evening session. And Silas, if you'd like to kick us off, because it was you and Kamaya and Akil who I believe collectively came up with this awesome idea, which we're all super excited about, and so excited to jump in. So, Silas, brother, we love you. Great to see you. And take it away.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, we have been working on what should the forms look like and what should be on our website, the Food Healers website, because it needs to be beyond the page that we have now. You know, it needs to become like a microsite on its own. And then how do you implement it? So that's what we've been working on. Akil can tell you where we are so far.
Where we're at so far is ultimately we want to create a homepage that attracts everyone with the numbers. I want the biggest number to be the amount of meals that people are pledging. That should be the largest number, since there'll be multiple food healers, but obviously it'll be more than just 1-to-1, since any food healer can provide, I would assume, over 10 meals. So that would be the biggest number, the one that we aim to get to over 1 billion. So having that goal on the front page should be important. And then also displaying how many food healers have also pledged underneath that. So we were writing it up to say, of our goal of 1 billion meals, and then we'll have a ticker of how many meals. So we'll say blank, let's say that's a big number. Whole food plant-based meals have been pledged by blank food healers. So however many food healers have signed up to be served on Food Healers Day, November 19th, 2022. So ultimately I would like that to be in the beginning on the homepage of the website, to draw people in to see how many people have signed up and are pledging to feed people on this special day. So then we'll have a form underneath there for someone to sign up to be a food healer and to pledge how many meals they can, and then capture their data of their name, their address, contact information, and then how many meals, and also how many meals, and then see if they want to be listed as a healer on our website. So have a separate tab for how many healers we have and their information. And then also have a box to check off if they want to sign up for a newsletter. And then the tabs that I'd like to have on there are on the homepage are who are healers, our co-conveners or our partners, and then about us, talking about our pledge, and then a contact us page. So yeah, just kind of formatting this website to, be efficient, and also to draw people in. To all we really need is their commitment, really, right? That's all we're looking for, is commitment from everyone to help out on this special day. And then after we've done it, then we can ask for every quarter or every month and go from there. But ultimately, this has to be a collective to solve world hunger. It can't just be one person sending a whole bunch of money to everybody, or all the rich people donate. Not all the money in the world is going to solve this. It needs to be a collaborative of all the healers in the world to help those that need healing. And so we're doing it through food. So yeah, with that, I'll pass the talking feather.
I just I wondered how to pledge for food. You mentioned pledging, but I don't understand that. If you could elucidate on that, please.
Well, just a pledge is, I mean, just a commitment to say, I, Akil Rao, pledge to serve 12 meals on November 19th, 2022 Food Healers Day. That's really all we're looking for, is everyone's commitment to helping and doing their part.
Yeah, I did acknowledge that I'm pledging for the zip code 48203, which is Detroit, Michigan.
Thank you so much, Michael.
Many hundreds of people in that zip code. Thank you. I'm honored.
Absolutely.
I'm a new food healer.
Yes, you are.
Thank you.
So yeah, I also kind of we also want to have a map of where everyone does sign up, just to have a really good visual for everyone to see that, you know, it's not just in the US. We have people all over the world willing to help. And then also we might want to extend it to anyone that does need healing or does want to sign up for food. We can eventually do a reverse lookup of, they can type in their zip code and find out who is the nearest person that is a food healer that is serving food. That way, yeah.
I want to say real quickly that Thich Nhat Hanh said that the next avatar is the Sangha, us.
Yes. It's beautiful. Yeah, I'll go ahead and pass off to Jamin.
Oh, thank you, Akil, and thank you, Silas and Kamaya, for being the inspiration of all this. We've got 3 generations of superstars, and I just wanted to add that I would propose that we display prominently on the homepage, of Food Healers. Please join us on our weekly meetings, Friday morning, Friday evening, to come and ask questions, meet the food healers. You know, we can have video recordings, including like this one and other food healers meetings, of which we have, you know, many dozens recorded already, and probably closer to 100. And but, you know, please join us. And then what I was thinking is, as we get more and more people coming in, we can have breakout rooms, a breakout room for just like introduction to new people who are coming. And then we can have kind of our main session. And then we can have breakout rooms eventually for the different regions of the United States, regions of the world, countries, for people to connect and share information. And then ultimately, and this is where your logistics expertise, Akil, can come in, is, for example, certain raw ingredients, like say dried rice, dried lentils, etc. By the truckload, the cost per pound just approaches 0, you know, like less than 10 cents a pound for dried lentils, which are a superfood. And we might develop some sort of a logistical solution where we buy those things by the truckload and then distribute, you know, hundreds of pounds to different locations each, something like that. But that could come later. But I just see a lot of value in the different regions or countries of the world meeting together in breakout rooms, but then having general session meetings where we say, hey, look, you know, our numbers are growing, and we've just had these partnerships with these government agencies, these nonprofits, et cetera, and also considering that we have so many organizations in the world that are dedicated to feeding people of various different kinds, government, nonprofit, just community-based, unorganized organizations and groupings, et cetera. And so we can become a magnet that brings all of these together Anyway, I'm sure it'll all evolve beautifully, but I think just a central thing is just inviting people to our weekly meetings would be just fantastic. Love to see just gobs of people pouring in here, and then we can just organically organize into breakout rooms as our numbers grow. So with that, I pass the feather back to Akil, Silas, and then I see Marco also has his hand up. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Jimmy. Yeah, absolutely. I think it would be great to have a section there to have a link to our Zoom meetings for anyone to sign up, and also want to have on there kind of like why this started. Ever since Kamaya, I think it started on her 4th or 5th birthday. But for every year for her birthday, we gather up friends and family, and we make care bags for the homeless. So we gather toothpaste, everything from toothpaste to shampoo to everything. And then we'd also make sandwiches, or we'd feed them, and we'd give them essential supplies. So ultimately it started with her wanting to give back on her special day, and that can certainly be on the website as well, explaining, where this idea really stemmed from is, her tradition on her day. So we're just welcoming the world to participate, and hopefully it grows into, organically grows into solving world hunger, really. Yeah, I'll go ahead and pass off to, actually, did I want to say anything? No, yeah, I'll go ahead and pass it off to Marco.
Yeah, just a thought came to mind, and before I lose it, I thought I'd pass it on and maybe it'll trigger some good ideas. I know sometimes, as far as logistics go, sometimes it's nice if you don't have to start everything from absolute scratch. And I was wondering how useful either using or changing or copying the GoDharmic app, for organizing the zip codes and the pledges. Just a thought there. And I'm complete. Thank you.
Thank you for the suggestion, Marco. I haven't heard of the GoDharmic app. I'm not familiar with it, but I'll certainly look into it and see if it's something we can easily copy for the zip codes. We also, my dad was saying that he has got the blessing from a Vegan Link to use some of his coding to help with mapping and zip codes. But certainly I'll definitely look into the GoDharmic app. And yeah, ultimately I feel like we certainly need to branch off after this to eventually branch off into an app where everyone is in this app and can, all of our healers to be in an app together, and to attract those that want healing or need healing, and those that are kind of tired of playing the old game and want to work towards collective healing. So I feel like an app would certainly be beneficial to us, and down the road to have everyone in one space, instead of a website, and then we can have our, if that app blows up, then we can have our Zoom meetings on there. You know what I mean? Everyone can have meetings on there, or we'll see where that goes. But just looking forward to contributing any way I can to help out and to see this thing grow. So with that, I'll pass off to my dad.
Go ahead, Jamin.
Oh, thank you. And let me welcome my queen, Melissa, who everyone here knows. Melissa, sweetheart, meet Akil, Silas's son and Kamaya's father.
Hi, Akil. Wonderful to see you here.
All right.
Thank you, Melissa. Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah. And in fact, Melissa shared earlier, we're up here, we live on an island off the coast of the state of Washington, right near Canada. And in fact, we've got some awesome Canadians here on the call. And Melissa will share in a bit about an idea that we came up with for community gardens here on the island, of which we're going to pioneer an important one. And what I wanted to suggest is kind of the positioning for this. So rather than saying, hey, this is food for people who are hungry or food insecure or need food or whatever, people might, feel kind of ashamed if they have to self-identify as hungry or food insecure. On the other hand, if we said, hey, this is food for everyone, and let this be International, Food Healers Day, plant-based foods for all. So from wealthy neighborhoods all the way to the poorest neighborhoods and communities, it's like we don't judge or filter by wealth or money or anything of the sort. We just say, hey, we want this to be a day, a compassionate day for all, where there's no killing, no cruelty. If we can have one cruelty-free day, then we can expand from there, that sort of thing. Because then, everyone can say, well, oh, of course, I'll be happy to try this. And they don't have to self-identify as poor or food insecure or anything like that. Passing the feather. Thank you.
I put in the chat about this idea of planting trees also for every year a person attains, or when a loved one passes on, to plant trees. And you can do it through I Give Trees or through Tree Sisters or a number of other groups. I Give Trees, make sure that they grow to the saplings at least, and they're restoring the most devastated rainforest in the world, and the Mata Atlantica, which is in the coastal area of Brazil.
I love that idea. Thank you for that, Kurt.
So Damon, did you just make it go from 1 billion to 8 billion?
I think so. I actually had that thought earlier today, that our target should be 8 billion.
Okay.
And then, because then we also achieve the whole planet eating together. Imagine just like a long table, with 8 billion seats. And in fact, there's an opportunity for an artwork there. I don't know if you call it like a 0 point or something, where you have two parallel lines that go off, and then, and then say, hey, there are places here for everyone, or something like that, or, everyone's invited to this table. Anyway, there's so much cool stuff we could do with that, but just the feeling of unity. And it's like, everyone knows, whether it's rival gangs in Los Angeles or any communities where there's discord or anything like that, the way to bring people together and to create harmony is just throw a big feast, right? And Melissa, who grew up on a Greek island, knows that whenever there'd be a wedding or any kind of celebration, by default, they would just put out a long table all through the town, and everyone was invited, right? And so it was just a communal thing. So this can be that, this can grow to be that. And then once you get it, and it's like, hey, there's no killing, food for all. Really, those are the two things we're bringing together: free food for everyone and zero cruelty. And then, of course, we take that zero cruelty compassion and we continuously develop it. Like we were talking earlier today about, palm oil, should that be considered part of a plant-based food? Or wait a second here, look at all that needs to get devastated to produce that palm oil. We can go further and further and further. And of course, there's no end to it, because as we go into regenerative agriculture, biodynamic farming, composting, community gardens, it just goes on and on and on and on until we reach this equilibrium point of, net regeneration. We cross the line from net taking to net regenerating to net healing, to being the caretaker species, as Silas has told us repeatedly. So anyway, the potential here is just absolutely awesome. Passing the feather. Thank you.
Go ahead, Michael.
Thank you. I'm fascinated by Meals on Wheels, being from the Motor City probably, but I love the interaction of giving the meal, sharing community, sharing friendship. And we could have like food healers on three wheelers. We could have three-wheel bicycles set up to carry our food, visiting our elderly friends. Food healers on three wheelers. Thank you.
Awesome. And as long as we are serving whole food plant-based meals, there's no question of palm oil or any of that, because that's just all processed stuff. We won't be using it.
I-
And
that's-
if you're using oil, it turns out that palm oil is probably more efficient than any other oil. So if we use some other oil, you're probably using more resources than you would with palm oil. So this is why I don't go into, even using oil for any purpose whatsoever. We can do oil-free cooking, and that's what we are recommending with the universal meals.
I'm wondering two things on the next week when we meet on Thursday morning. Will we be able to have some food? Like when the last activity that I went to down at City Hall, the Sikhs they were just giving away food and drink. They had lassis of all things, and I love lassis, of course. But can we do that? Are we doing that? And I'm so excited about what's happening on Thursday.
Jamin, are we serving food on Thursday or just on Saturday?
Oh, okay. Well, on Thursday, the original idea was just a press conference, and then Sarah suggested we bring, even just one big pot of stew, just partly as a display, and hey, come try out the stew, etc. Maybe we serve smaller portions or something, but definitely Saturday. That's where we do larger volume. And Kurt, you're in Los Angeles?
Yes, I'm north in the San Fernando Valley, which is about 20 miles north of downtown.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Akil, you want to talk about the BYOBS idea?
Yeah, sure. I was about to bring that up. So I was talking to my dad earlier, and we are serving stew, and I requested that we do this waste-free in any manner that we can. So even if it requires asking those who are in need of meals to bring their own bowl and spoon. So BYOBS, and that would, they have, if we get the word out, they have a couple months to figure out how to get a bowl and spoon if they don't already have one, or we can provide it. If we do have a donation spot, and if people feel like they need, bowls and spoons, we can provide funds for them to provide people with their own bowl and spoon that they can reuse. But I feel like it's very important to not have any waste, so that way we're not, we're not leaving any type of trace, right? There's no trace, there's no waste, and we're not throwing a whole bunch of bamboo spoons, plastic spoons or plastic bowls or paper bowls, anything. We're not throwing it away. And if it does come down to being a monthly, weekly, or daily thing, then bring your own bowl. All you have to do is wash it, bring your own bowl and spoon. So that was an idea, to have that also on the website, just to prepare people for, and to show them that we're serious about not creating more waste, and not, we're not going to support waste. So yeah, I'll go ahead and pass it off to Marco.
Yeah, these topics have been addressed at past meetings, and that's good for everybody that can, provide their own bowl and spoon is obviously the best option. But as far as leaving any trace behind, anything that we've provided is so far, Sarah has been real good about getting compostable bowls and silverware, and then they clean up all trash in the area afterwards. Anything that occurred because we were there, they take effort to eliminate pick it all up and make sure it gets disposed of properly.
Yeah, just those things have to be added on the website. So it's
Yeah.
like a, best practices type of thing should be there on the website.
But definitely the more we promote that idea and the sooner of bring your own, that's going to be I'm glad you're making that a priority.
Hello, everybody. This is Sister Ivy.
Sister Ivy, welcome back, sister. How are you?
Thank
Good to
you.
hear your voice, Sister IB.
Oh, it's so good to see you. I could listen, but I couldn't talk before because there was noise. So now I can say hello, and so glad to see you and hear all your great ideas and voices. And yeah, it's just been way busy with housing the houseless. So just that program just opened, and I've been at that. But the food, as you must know, is in my heart always. So I want to try to really get back to this.
Beautiful.
Yes, it's very great, and love all the ideas, and definitely have ideas to share with you. Maybe next meeting. I hope I can be here, and but I love all what I hear. Thank you so much for keeping it up and holding the tent and everything else.
Thank you, Sister Ivy, and thank you for being such a huge inspiration for us. For those
Yeah.
for those who haven't met Sister Ivy, she, like for over a dozen years, has operated We Are Uno in Los Angeles, feeding houseless communities plant-based foods and organizing a number of volunteers, volunteer cooks, etc., and then distributing the food. And speaking of food distribution, I thought I'd share a few slides just really briefly here, if I may.
And I just want to say, sorry I couldn't be with you guys in the big event. I saw it later. I'm like, wow, I missed that. So sorry I missed you guys and being with you. But I hope that there's going to be another one.
Oh, you mean the event that's coming up next week, Sister Ivy?
Oh, I thought it was the 22nd of February.
Well, we're having a press conference this coming Thursday, the 17th, and that'll be on the steps of City Hall, and would love to have you there. Silas is coming out from Arizona. I'm coming down from the state of Washington.
Awesome, awesome.
Kurt's
I mean,
coming.
oh wow. I mean, I thought it was the 22nd of January, no?
Oh, there was an event then, but we're now gearing up for every Saturday, starting on the 19th. Anyway,
Okay.
if you check the email, you'll see more information about that.
Okay, I check half of it or something. So yeah, I will do it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So anyway, these are some slides we put together, I think, over a year ago. Like, for example, and this next image shows a farm. Let's see, I'm just waiting for it. There we go. That shows a farm up in Canada where they're harvesting just, unthinkable quantities of lentils. This is why we can get lentils for even less than 10 cents a pound. And then thinking of the vision of all this, because we might as well dream really big here. This next image shows like an industrial rice cooker. I mean, this must be like to feed the Chinese army or something like that, because this is a conveyor system of just like dozens of trays, large trays of rice. So it's continuously cooking rice. And we can imagine similar systems for cooking beans, lentils, other legumes, and then of course the produce. So the idea from a logistics standpoint is to cook everything that needs to be cooked. Don't cook the stuff that doesn't need to be cooked, like a lot of the produce doesn't even need to be cooked. Mix it all together and refrigerate it. So bring it down to close to freezing basically, and have a lot, varieties of different kinds of plant-based stews. And then part of the big vision is we could then distribute these in, say, food grade 55-gallon drums, for example, right? And then deliver them around to different locations, drop them off so that we could, to a large degree, if we wanted to, centralize the cooking of the food and then distribute it around to different feeding stations. Because to have a feeding station, you just need to be able to receive the drum, a drum or two, have the serving capacity, a ladle, and gloves, and the appropriate gear for safe social distancing, hygiene, et cetera, not very hard to work out. But distributing it all cold, because by keeping it cold, of course, we minimize bacterial growth and maximize the conservation of nutrition. And then the idea is that, say, like, a couple times a week at a given feeding station, we drop off, one or a few drums, depending on the population, the demand. And then people come with, hygienic buckets with lids, or just even a stainless steel pot with a lid. So there's no single use anything. We fill you up, you take it home to your family, heat it up, or put it in the refrigerator and portion it out as you need. And so it's a way to do this kind of on an ongoing volume basis. So anyway, just wanted to share some of those ideas that were part of our original inspiration. And then Sarah, welcome back, Sarah, sister. And then Sarah just stepped up like a year ago and just said, hey, or I forget exactly when, but it was close to a year ago, and said, hey, I'm ready to just start this. Let's start. And she's such a go-getter. So she just started in Los Angeles, and we've never looked back, always forward. So anyway, just wanted to share all that. Passing the feather. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Jamie. Those are some great ideas for scaling up for big food distribution. And yeah, I like the idea of the drums, and I guess we could see if we actually might need that. I mean, I feel like as we gear up for this day, for this year, I think I feel like it would be important for people to cook the meals that they normally would serve. And I'm not saying that any of your ideas are not valid at all, but I do love the idea of our vegan grandmothers cooking, or not to say that grandfathers aren't cooking, but I mean, but yeah, I feel like it's more personal. And as long as they fit the certain criteria that we're looking for, as far as having a grain and having all the criteria that my dad has outlined, as long as the meal is nutritious and plant-based, yeah, that's pretty much the main goals for this. But yeah. Anyone else?
I would like to, if it's okay, to know what's up with Molly. How's that going, or is that going on with Molly?
Yeah, so Molly
Or
will
is
be.
that not going?
It is going. It is going. So Molly will be joining us, and at our event on City Hall on Thursday, I will be showing up as Darth Vader with music, with microphones, and we've come up with a cool poster that I'm having printed, and it shows Princess Leia from the original Star Wars, where she says, help us, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're our only hope. But here it'll say, help us, Molly Baszler. You're our only hope. I ran this by Molly earlier today. She loved it, so she's good. So we're going to be doing quite a spectacle on the steps of City Hall, and as Silas can attest, we had quite a positive impact there in Glasgow. I actually went to Glasgow on Silas's invitation, and we were able to coordinate together and really make an impact, bringing our different teams together. So that's the idea with City Hall, is that we make a huge impact, a visual impact, and give speeches and share this whole vision about transforming Los Angeles into the world's first compassionate metropolis. And where does compassion begin? With plant-based food for all. Compassion for animals, compassion for nature, compassion for all people. And then we go from there, from food to shelter, housing. Oh, Sister Ivy, I'm going to mute you. We're getting some background there. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Anyway, so that's kind of the big vision for Los Angeles, that as we end hunger and malnutrition and cruelty throughout Los Angeles, we turn it into the world's first compassionate metropolis. Can you imagine what will happen to the statistics of Los Angeles in terms of crime, depression, suicide, violence, houselessness, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, overdoses and all those things, as it becomes a compassionate metropolis? And seeing those numbers, can you imagine the city government of Chicago, their jaw dropping as they look at Los Angeles and say, why aren't we doing this here? And then it just goes all around the world. But see, because Los Angeles is both the media capital of the world and the trend-setting capital of the world. And there's an incredible concentration of wealth. And once we do it in Los Angeles, we're going to do it everywhere around the world. And so November 19th can be like Compassion Day or something like that, right? Worldwide Compassion Day, the day when everyone came together. And I think this will grow to become a mythological day, kind of the new myth of the new collective of humanity. And Kurt said it well. I don't recall the term. So Kurt, if you don't mind repeating that, the next evolution of humanity is the collective, right? And this is what actually brings us together. This is the event. This is the day. And Kamaya can be, to the extent she wants, our leader, representing Mother Earth, right? Representing life and new life, right? Because she's so young. Anyway, I don't want to put words.
A woman.
Pardon? Yeah.
It should be a woman.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mother Earth. The beautiful thing about Mother Earth, it's me. Mother Earth is me. Imagine that. Most people don't think of that. Mother Earth is me. And that little quote that you mentioned, that you sort of alluded to, was by Thich Nhat Hanh, and it was the next avatar is the Sangha. So that means in Sanskrit, it's satsang. Satsang sharanam gacchami. Always take the company of the seekers of truth.
Yeah, Akil, I really like your idea of it being kind of like a home-based thing for starters, right? Where let every kitchen in the world get involved. I understand I've never been to Brazil, but in Brazil on Mardi Gras, where they have their big celebrations, apparently every home cooks food and every home is welcome to everybody, and people just come and have a bowl of soup, have whatever, enjoy. And so it could be something like that, where every home gets involved. And in fact, so even in wealthy neighborhoods, like if you're a food healer, have a sign that you just like put on your front yard that basically says, hey, ring the doorbell, and let us know, have you brought your own container? We'll serve you. And then that way people can even go to their neighbors and try different dishes. Like I'm Hispanic, so we might have a Mexican based or Chilean based plant-based stew. Someone else from Africa might have an African seasoning, African stew, Indian, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, the possibilities are endless. And so it can be kind of like this whole sharing and, oh my goodness, oh wow, oh, this is delicious. How do you do that? What's your recipe? And then different homes that are on the map, and then people can kind of go around. It can sort of be like a Halloween, but instead of for unhealthy, cavity creating sweets, it's healthy plant-based stew, right? And other side dishes, perhaps. So it can really become a thing that brings neighborhoods together. And we've already got the tradition with Halloween of people going from door to door. Here, of course, it'll be whoever has a sign or something. So we'll find creative ways for homes to self-identify. Yeah.
That's a beautiful idea. What a beautiful idea. Anything that get us together and get the fear of the others away, I just always think is a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
I wish that we had a little handout, whether it's like this thin or whatever, but maybe a full folded 8.5 by 11 kind of thing, with a list of simple things that people can do with links to websites about all these kind of vegan meals that are in one bowl, a good stew kind of a thing, or other kinds of simple points that people can find and or do in being able to reconnect with others. And if we don't have something to hand people, they're going to go away and they may have heard some great things, but if it's in your head, it can get out of your head very quickly too. So that's just a thought.
I also wanted to bring to your attention a grassroots campaign that happened in Estonia in 2008 called Let's Do It. And it was organized to clean up the forests of Estonia. And apparently 4% of the population participated in it. And they basically did what the government was supposed to have been doing, but they did it for 50,000 euros. It was the total cost. And in 5 hours, they cleaned up all of Estonia of garbage in the forests.
Is that on a video or something that
It's on, I can share. Do you
Yeah.
have the?
Because there's a big dam at the base of my hill that I live at, and it's got so much trash all around it. And
Yeah.
most of it is unused, and they won't even let the homeless use what's called a children's camp.
Hmm.
It has barbecue kind of stands and tables and so on, and they could easily camp there, be living there instead of in the crud that they have to live in if they're living anywhere at all. But they don't allow that now. So that's one of my quests to be able to deal with right now. And
Jimin, can you make me co-host so I can share?
Oh, Marco, you got that? Oh, actually, no, I'm host. Of course. Sorry.
Oh, Marco's host.
No. Oh, is Marco host? Oh, okay. Mark, are you there? If her, I'll just reclaim host so I can do it. Let's see. So we got your climate healers, right, Salish?
Right. Uh-huh.
Okay. So climate healers, and Yeah, I think, please confirm, are you got it? You have it already, Silas? Are you co-host?
Yeah, I'm co-host. Yeah.
Okay, great. Mhm.
So I can share and show you this. It started a movement actually. It's the Wikipedia page for it. It was a large campaign on 3rd May of 2008 to activate civic society in Estonia in an effort to clean up the country from litter. It's organized by Let's Do It World. The litter pickup spots were marked by volunteers beforehand who use mobile phones to record the locations to a mapping system, similar to Google Maps. So 10,656 locations were recorded in total. Cultural figures helped promote the campaign by participating in televised advertisements. Over 500 partners helped during the cleanup, and volunteers registering to the cleanup were asked to form 3 to 15 member teams, with each team receiving instructions before the cleanup day via email. So this is how the organization happened. So I'm just imagining something like this for what we are thinking of doing, right? So over 50,000 people, or approximately 4% of the population, participated in the cleanup. More than 10,000 tons of garbage were removed from the country's forest in about 5 hours for less than 500,000 euros. Under normal circumstances, it would have taken the government 3 years and 22.5 million euros to accomplish a similar feat. So it's just a few people, young people got together and did this. So shortly after the event, Latvia organized a similar nationwide event every year. And Lithuania and Latvia organized larger scale events. So it became something that spread, right? So, but this is what we are trying to do with food, but for the entire world. So, I mean, I can connect with them and see if I can talk to the people who organized it, see if there is something we can learn from them.
No, that's so beautiful. And in fact, since you mentioned those examples, Silas, a couple other examples come to mind. Most of us have probably seen these big picture books where it shows like a day in the life of Ireland or a day in the life of California. And I saw a documentary once on television showing how they did it. And basically, you know, a whole bunch of photographers get together on this one day in different locations, and they just take pictures, right? And then all of those get consolidated, and, you know, the best ones are selected. And I remember the director of the program, I think it was in Ireland or something, said, this is one of those crazy ideas that just works, right? Everyone getting together on one day, doing a concentrated event. And then I remember when I was in middle school, you know, one Saturday morning, you know, I got up and I'm eating cereal and I'm channel surfing, and I see this documentary on public television, and it showed this group of builders who got together in Indiana. On one day, they built a house on one day, right? And it shows them getting there early, and they've got their coffee and they're looking over plans and everything. And the concrete folks are working on their stuff, and the plumbers are getting their stuff ready. And so this kind of miracle in a day. And now for what we're doing, imagine bringing the photographers in, because they've been doing that kind of thing for decades now, a day in the life of, right? And so documenting it in pictures, can you imagine the smiles, the tears, right? You've all seen this image of Community Cafe, which I've got on my screen here. We did that in Rosamond, California at their annual Parade of Lights on December 5th, 2015. And I remember, I'm Spanish speaking, Spanish heritage. And I remember so many of the Spanish speakers were saying, es un milagro, you know, this is a miracle, free food, because in Mexico, this would be common in the ranchos, you know, just feed everyone on a holiday or something like that. And so the fact that this was now in the United States, it was just a miracle. This is a miracle, what we're doing. And to photograph it, to document it, to bring together so many different people who can participate in different capacities, everything from bus drivers, Uber drivers, law enforcement, fire companies, whoever. I'm sure we can bring forward so many different folks. And then with our weekly meetings, we can capture the best ideas, publish them. And then next thing you know, everyone's talking about it. And so I think we've got kind of the perfect lead time for it. We're, 9 months away, pregnant with possibility. And I see Kurt has his hand up, so I'll pass the talking feather. Thank you.
Yes, basically there was a 4th of July in America, and they had people all around America videotaping the uniqueness about the 4th of July for them, where they are and all that kind of stuff. Then they sent it into one, hub, so to speak, and then the editor got a hold of it. And they just tossed it together. I just had it on I don't have it anymore on my screen type of thing to be able to show you. And I don't think I may be able to find it sometime, but you could easily search it. And we could easily create such a thing. Well, I don't know about easily, I'm not the editor and so on, but there are people that can do that, because with all the vegans around America or around the world, imagine it's going to be on this day, you're going to talk about how veganism changed you, or how, what it is you're eating, just something that's very unique and very quick. It could only be a 20-second kind of a thing. And because everything is so rapid, but guess what? People really get to listen when we slow down, because slowing down allows us to go from this to this. And we can hit people with the speed at the start, but once we got their attention, we go straight into the heart. And this is the key to transition, to the big, big transition. Michael.
Yes, I don't mean to plug a Detroit company, but I love this company, Hacienda de Rodriguez, I believe. I put the web link into the chat box, but they make vegan tortillas, and also chips. So I imagine we could hand out, scoopfuls of chips on top of the stew. And we can link up to a company like this that's it's in 11 states. So I wanted to highlight that for Akil. And I thought that we could team up approaching a company like that for donations for our 11 state region, Midwest. So I'll be glad to assist writing a letter or approaching the company from a local viewpoint. Thank you. I'll put my email address in the chat box. Thank you.
We might also approach the Sikhs and say, look, on this day, do you guys want to come to let's say the City Hall this next Thursday? Would you like to do this? But instead of using this, use, let's have some dal. Okay, great. Mung dal, whatever.
Yeah, their food can be easily made whole food plant-based. The chana dal that they make,
Oh, yeah.
chickpeas.
Yep. There's a big Gurudwara here in San Fernando Valley, and I'm not sure where the one is downtown LA or what, but there's plenty of them around. And we might also approach some of the Hindu temples to do a similar kind of a thing, because there's a big one to, oh God, he's the black Krishna. down in South India. I forget his name, but in Malibu Canyon, it's a beautiful temple there.
Mm.
So just some thoughts.
Yeah, I love your thought about the temples, because especially during COVID, you have a lot less of the normal congregating. And so these churches and temples, most of which have, substantial kitchens made for just such events, they can get into the game, right? And say, hey, we're going to make 500 meals. Come and pick them up, and we'll have a drive-through, or you can walk up. And, depending on the location, we have to be careful, since it's November in North America anyway, it'll be kind of cooler temperature, except in places like Arizona, where it's never gets too cold. Just kidding. But we might have some outdoor dining, across the southern regions of the country, and then different parts of the world. So anyway, just wanted to mention those ideas. Passing the feather.
So Christopher was kind of asking, like, what makes something whole food plant-based, or what makes a food plant-based? And it's because we don't use the oil to cook it, because that would really mess it up. But I mean, Dr. Brown could definitely explain it way better than me. I just wanted to make sure that the reason why we're not going to throw chips onto the stew is that's not going to, the chips are fried in oil. So that's what I wanted to let you know.
Yeah, I mean, if they can make air fried chips, if they do, then it's okay. But if not, it won't be whole food plant-based if it uses oil. The PCRM recommends a oil-free whole food plant-based meals for optimum health. And so they recommend actually universal meals also. So it doesn't have common allergens. Nuts. So anyway, I've been up since 4 o'clock in the morning, because I had a presentation to India at 4:30. So
Wow.
I'm sort of exhausted now.
Yeah. Well, Silas, you are our hero, one of our heroes. There's a lot of heroes here on the call tonight. So
someone called me the Energizer Bunny. No,
well, Silas,
going.
when you put your head on your pillow tonight, lay down with a big smile on your face, because this has been a really wonderful day. We love you, Silas.
So nice to see you. Yeah, so nice to see you. Thank you for all you do. Bless you.
It's great to hear you.
Much love.
Thank
Sleep
you.
well.
Thank
you, Akio.
Thank you. Bye.
Love you, Silas. Sweet dreams.
I might head out too, because I'm actually at his house right now, so I don't want to be interrupting his sleep.
Sure.
But, I did want to thank you guys for having me, and yeah, looking forward to sharing some more ideas as they arise, and love to hear that your guys' ideas. Thank you for all you contributing, and yeah, I think we, this next week might be busy in terms of getting this website up and running, but we got to make sure we're prepared for once it goes live, that there's going to be I'm estimating a lot of traffic, especially if we're dealing with organizations with over 1 million to 10 million followers, or there's going to be a lot. So making sure that we capture the right data and have the capacity to handle the volume, the traffic and everything. But yeah, thank you guys so much for your ideas. I love to hear them, and I'll be in I'll be in touch. Thank you guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Akil. We look forward to seeing you on future
Akil,
Fridays and Thursdays
Absolutely.
and Saturdays.
Akil, before you leave, what does your name mean?
My name is Dad. Is it good natured?
Yeah,
Yeah,
peaceful.
good natured. Oh, peaceful. That's right.
Botacha.
Thank you.
Awesome. Peace. Peace and love.
Namaste.
Peace and love.
Adios to God.
All righty. Well, Food Healers continues. It
You
is
know, I
8:08.
put in the chat real quickly two things: the Pythagoras practice as well as the peacemaker meditation. Some of you weren't on the earlier chat that we were on, and so you wouldn't see that in the chat. So I wanted to share that so you might be able to benefit from it. And if you have any questions or feel like you want to connect anytime, because we're here to serve.
Beautiful. Beautiful. You know, one thing I love about this is just the universal appeal. And this builds up. Well, first, let me welcome back Franca. Welcome back, Franca, sister. I trust you got a good sleep and we're still going strong.
It's only 4 o'clock where I am. I'm just, I think I'm just having a little bit of a wee break from my sleep. I'm not sure how long I'm going to stick around.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it is very early in the morning for you. Well, it's like that. It's like the theme song from that movie Arthur from 1980. Wake up and she's still with you, even though you left her way across town, wondering to yourself, hey, what have I found?
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's us. Wake up and we're still with you. And in fact, that reminds me of the good old days back in late 2020, when between Marco and Christopher and so many other folks who were participating, we kept this Zoom room open 24/7 for months, literally months. James in Ireland and Miranda was with us, Melissa, so many folks, Sarah. Anyway, so I think we will be 24/7 again very soon, especially with Food Healers. Love all, feed all.
Christopher was one of the old heroes.
Oh yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Franca, you're not usually around in Humanity Rising, are you that, Franca?
That's me.
Is it?
It is.
The Gates.
Kurt.
All right. It's been so long.
Well, I see you all the time. I do your meditation with you, when you facilitate it and everything. I'm usually not on camera, but I see you all the time.
Yeah. It's always good to see you when I get to.
Thank you.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know about Humanity Rising, I'll just post this to let you know, because it is uplifting things that are happening all over the world. And this whole week, this week, was geared toward the climate crisis. Yeah. So I get to get off and get to be with my family now. Not that you're not my family, but a little bit more intimate family here. I so enjoy being with you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kurt. So wonderful having you here, and look forward to seeing you in person on Thursday. Can you make it on Thursday next week at City Hall?
I'm planning it. I gotta see how everything else goes with the rest of the family and all the other things we have, but the way it looks.
Yeah, that was going to be my comment, that I thought Kurt would be a good addition if he was just given a minute to underscore what we're doing. He's such a good communicator. Thank you.
Here, here.
Whatever
All
it
right.
is, I'm here to serve just like you guys.
Wonderful. Wonderful. All right. Peace. Peace and love. Thank you so much, Kurt.
Yes.
We'll see you.
Bye, Kurt. Bye-bye.
All right.
I couldn't be watching, but just listening. Who was that just left?
That's
And from
Kurt,
where?
Kurt from San Fernando Valley, just north of you, Sister Ivy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it looks like he'll be joining us on both, hopefully Thursday and Saturday this coming week.
And the Thursday I will check that. Sorry, I haven't had a chance to check the whole newsletter, which is always great. Thank you so much. But is it this Thursday, the City Hall? You mean Los Angeles, right?
That is right. This Thursday, February 17th, on the steps of City Hall. And it will be starting at 10:30 in the morning, and we'll go for probably about 4 hours, if not longer, on Thursday. I'll be dressed as Darth Vader. So just ask for Darth Vader.
Oh. And Rao is going to come too?
Dr. Rao will be there. Silas will be there. Yeah.
That's beautiful. I'm going to try to be there on Thursday, see if I can keep going to work.
Yeah, and invite all your friends. I'll be singing. People will be dancing. Darth Vader costume, lots of great signage, similar to what we did in Glasgow, Scotland, which was a huge success and got lots of attention, lots of media coverage. And I'm going to be announcing that we're transforming Los Angeles into the world's first compassionate metropolis, and including the world's first compassionate government. And so I'm going to be announcing to Los Angeles that we are instituting regime change in Los Angeles, and we are installing the world's first compassionate government. And if people say, what do you mean you're installing a government? I'll say, well, the first thing you need to know is that every government is installed. Usually it's installed by the rich and powerful for their own interests. This is going to be a compassionate government installed by the people, for the people, and for Mother Earth.
Great. Just great. I'm envisioning many cities following that.
That's exactly it, because Los Angeles is the media capital of the world and the trend-setting capital of the world. Different, and as I say, different from Las Vegas. What happens in Los Angeles does not stay in Los Angeles. It gets transmitted around the world.
That's great. That's great. Thank you for all your good work and for standing and staying and holding the tent all the time. It always pays.
Thank you, Sister Ivy, and right back at you, sister.
I second that.
Yeah, we drew quite a crowd tonight, and I think this is an upward trend for us. Can you imagine when hundreds of people are pouring in here and we're going into dozens of different breakout rooms and working out all the details?
Yes. I want to say hello to Sister Sarah. Are you still here?
Yes, I'm resting.
Hello, have a good rest. Thank you for all your good work.
I feel bad about suggesting those tortilla chips. I'm much more educated on oil than I had been, you know. So thank you all, Sarah especially. Thank you.
And
Yep.
Michael, thank you so much for all the good you do. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for your donation to Viruno. It's been a big blessing. People have been eating homemade only plant-based food with with those cups, and
Yeah,
it's
oh, thank you.
perfect size. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to restocking sometime probably in the next month. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That would be great. Um, that would be great. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'll send you an email. Thank you. Good.
Great contribution. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to joining Food Healers, but just waiting to have the way to do it, take the time and do it right. But that's what I'm looking forward to. It's really a great vision. Thank you, all of you, for helping. And Michael, one of these days you gotta come to Los Angeles, or have you come already?
I have a pretty good friend in I believe in Burbank there. And so I'm looking forward to flying right into Burbank. You don't have to go way out to LAX to hook up. And I'm looking forward to coming visit, and I'll be on the front line serving stew. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Please make sure to let me know and
Yeah.
get your rides to and from the airport or whatever. Same
Oh,
to any of you. Same to any of you that come here. It's an honor to have any of you.
I was just texting our friend Hugo in Guadalajara, and yesterday Hugo interviewed me from a television station there in Mexico for Informativo Habitat. That means like an informational program about the habitat. And they asked me questions about Glasgow, Scotland, and SRM, and food healers, and all the stuff we're doing. So looks like he's having a little trouble connecting right now. I asked him to keep trying and assured him we're all here. So hopefully we'll see Hugo in a bit.
And Ingrid came over to my house when she came, when I was giving her this extra stew from the last time, which was great that she was able to, give that away. And so, yeah, that was great. And Michael made a donation of $75 to Food Healers. And that was great. Thank you, Michael.
Yes, and the stew went out so fast. I didn't get to take pictures because it didn't go like in a one location, but because I had to go to bring clothes and blankets and shoes and all, all these things to different places. That's the way the stew went too, just everywhere I was going for the other thing. So, it was too busy. It was absolutely great. People are so hungry, so hungry. I mean, it's been like that for the, last 10 years I've been doing it, but now it's like really people are extra hungry today. So this is a great program for a great need right now. What a blessing.
I'm going to take Jamin over to that one area and show him there is the Venice Library. And I have never seen so many tents in the whole area is just full of tents. And then I saw on Playa Vista, right by the Bayona wetlands, like right where I used to live, right around the corner. Like I've never before seen tents in that area ever in 5.5 years, and loads and loads more tents. So I don't even know what's going on, but I feel like the houseless crisis is actually getting worse because I feel like I keep seeing more and more pop-up houseless camps. And I think if you took that stew, like in that one little park area, Ingrid, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's like crazy. I mean, you could go through 5 pots of stew easily just in that one section.
Absolutely. Yes. We bring 3 big pots and they just go so quick. It's amazing. Like big pots, and they just go, whatever the amount of food we bring is gone. Like,
and that's in Venice?
It's in West Los Angeles, in Venice, and mainly Venice and West Los Angeles.
Okay, under that bridge, you mean? Where
yeah, that's one of the yeah, that's one of the locations.
I live right around the corner from there. I was shocked when I came out, and I was like, wow. I was shocked because that's where the need is. It's all down in that area. I was trying to explain to Jamin about our locations and why we want to be down in the beach areas, because besides Skid Row, most people that are houseless, they like to live by the beach. I'm not sure why. I guess they can go in the water and take baths and stuff. I don't know. I mean, I guess so. But yeah, it seems like that. Like Ingrid knows, it's like thousands and thousands of people that we could be feeding. And it's like, that's why I'm trying to get it back over to our headquarters in Santa Monica, because that is such a need. And we're getting all the food from Santa Monica mostly now. And I want to stay in that area so that it's becoming more of a community cafe, like James started in 2015. And we can have community cafes everywhere. So that's the thing, is that we can get a Food Healers tent and put them all over the place and everywhere. And I think that's really what needs to happen. I was very disappointed that we didn't get to do one this weekend at the Super Bowl. I mean, at every one of those tailgate lots, we could have had a pop-up tent. And I was just shocked that nobody really wanted to do it. Everybody was like, no, it's Super Bowl weekend. I'm like, yeah, that's why you do it. because all eyes are on Los Angeles this weekend. Like, I've never seen so much coverage of a freaking football game in my life, because it's in Los Angeles and the Los Angeles Rams are playing in the Super Bowl. And everybody and their brother is coming to Los Angeles.
Hmm.
And honestly, I don't know if we're recording this, but yeah, we should disrupt the Super Bowl. I mean, I don't know why anybody's not wanting to just, I mean, the whole thing is insane how much animals are being murdered for this one football game.
God,
Yeah,
yes.
they're bragging about it. They're all bragging about it. But the
Mm.
thing is that we could have been feeding all of those people around that area, which have really been hit hard by the pandemic. And I just really feel like it's just like when the Olympics came to Atlanta and they really basically took the houseless or the Section 8 housing and they built a wall around it so nobody could see. And I feel like that's what's happening with the Super Bowl thing, is like no one's going to see what's really happening in LA, like,
Mm.
because they moved all the houseless away from like SoFi Stadium. I don't really see a lot of houseless people around there, but maybe I'm blind, but I feel
No,
like
no,
they're
they
down in
must,
Skid Row and they're at the beach.
Yeah. no, they must have cleaned it to show how nice and clean everything is, and that there are no problems in Los Angeles.
Both Food Healers and We Are Uno have Super Bowls. We have,
Yeah.
you guys have Super Bowls every weekend. I thank you so much for what you do.
That's so sweet. Thank you, Michael. That's so sweet. And you know, I share what happened on third, another of the locations. Basically, we go to the big camps. Well, I stop at little camps if that's what Divine Mind lead me to. But those are our locations, and one of them is the one on Third Street and in Venice, Rose, Third Street and Rhodes. And you know what happened? We were going very consistently there. And people at the beginning, as in every camp we've been every year, don't care for the food that much and don't find that much of the taste because it doesn't have, the blood and the meat. And after they kind of got educated, that's what we all are doing, right? Educating people about this. They were eating so much and we were very consistent. And I just couldn't go. Something else came up, another program and this and that. And it kind of kept on falling off the rack, And I went there maybe like 2 months later. And guess what happened? This was a lesson for me. I'm just sharing. These two guys have made like a whole system of bringing them hamburgers and chorizos and all kinds of, junk and animal-based food. And when I went there after a while with the food, they came to the car and say, "What are you doing? What is this?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm bringing food. I have brought it for years. I just haven't been able to come. I just said that I didn't know anything of what they were doing." And these people were charging them for the food. They were not giving it away. And people were buying it because, that's what was there. And the reason why I say a lesson is like the vegan food was there and people got to eat it and accept it and everything. But then just after being absent, look what got in. And they were even charging them, I think 50 cents or $1, I was told from the people there, for whatever, food. And it was all like fast food, so I think it's important if we can see that, certainly me, that if we're not there, someone else is going to probably be there, and something else is going to be given to these people that is not plant-based vegan food. I was like, wow. And the guys were very possessive, you know, like they were like they didn't like it. But then I said, look, I bring mainly all this clothing and shoes and phones and whatever we have, and they need it and want it, so it's okay. We just bring in this. And the guys kind of quiet down, but they thought that that was their territory. It was amazing, you know. So it's something that we can, you know, like keep in thought how important it is to be there. And like I said, me first, you know. And I still haven't been able to get back there. I don't know if the guys are still there or what, but that was not a good, fun story. But I think it's important to learn from it. Just sharing.
So nice to be hanging with you all on a Friday night. Marco, brother, how you doing there?
I'm just getting me some whole plant-based foods.
All right, that's the spirit.
Dear brother Marco, hello. Oh my God.
So
I
glad.
always say hello, and I didn't today. Hello. Thank you for all your contribution, all your help, all your time. Amazing. Thank you so much for supporting so much, Jamin.
Yeah,
And the cause,
it's a
of
good
course.
thing to do. And, you know, it's enjoyable, and I get to meet all you great people. So I'm glad you were able to be here tonight.
Oh, yes, I love it. Yes, I'm so glad. Something was canceled, and that's why I'm like, okay, next thing, oh, I'm gonna get on. And
Well,
I hope you're able to come one time to Los Angeles too.
Yeah, we're considering all possibilities.
Yeah, I should mention that Jesus cannot make the trip, but she sends her apologies, but she would like to reschedule in the future if possible. So we look forward to rescheduling down the line. Thank you.
Who is this, brother Michael?
That's my friend Jesus Washington. She's an actress and she's a business owner here in the Metro Detroit area, but she enjoys Snapchat, which is a youth-oriented type of communication method, like short videos. She's very popular on that platform. And I'm Uncle Michael on her Snapchat page. Sorry to turn attention away from food healers. Thank you.
Oh no, it's all good. Thank you. And where I don't remember where brother Marco is.
he's in Michigan.
Oh,
Yeah, by the Canadian border in Port Huron in the thumb of Michigan.
Yeah, speaking of Canada, the Canadians have been kind of quiet. There must be a big hockey match on or something like that.
Yeah, I haven't heard any of them. I saw that they're here.
No, just doing other things like everybody else, I guess. But I'm listening.
Oh, good.
How's your thumb, Marco?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
How is your thumb?
Oh, it's better. It's turned out to be not just the thumb, but kind of all across the wrist. Disturbed a lot of the arthritis, and there was a tendon pulled a bone chip off the middle. All there is to do is keep it immobile for a few weeks. So the pain is minimal now.
Oh, wow. Oh, fantastic. And might that bone chip be reintegrated, or will it dissolve?
He didn't say, I didn't ask. All I know is he said there's nothing to do for it. No surgery was necessary. It just needs to be kept immobile for a few weeks. And he's going to recheck it in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Because if that chip doesn't reunite with the bone, what's that sinew going to attach to? Or are you losing that?
I think it's
structure?
it only partially pulled. It didn't come totally disconnected.
Gotcha.
And it was like super tiny.
It's amazing how painful a tiny little injury like that can be.
It's carpal tunnel from raising your thumbs up for recording all Jamin's recordings.
The thing is, they said I have so much arthritis in there, and it all got disrupted, broken up, and sharp edges and things like that.
Oh, wow.
So now it's more of an annoyance than anything else.
I wonder about food healers and arthritis. How strong, I wonder how strong the connection between food and arthritis is, and how much our stew can alleviate those developments in people.
There's a very strong connection between what you intake as food and arthritis. The inflammatory processes that occur from the breakdown of foods is so disruptive. So like bringing in everything that I've heard these guys talk about, and it's like the whole system's food to have a whole system service. So the cells would actually act in a perfect frequency to create a more sustainable energy, and that would cause less disruption within the joints, less inflammation to combat. So that's a brilliant question. And I like how helpful. I was thinking about it in regards to hormone balancing, like how well does that balance the hormones, removing impurities, and I think it would be really cool to have how it affects the body session which I'm sure they have. I'm sure I just haven't gotten all the pieces yet, because I have heard like mentions of certain things. Super neat.
Wow.
Yeah, diets that are supposed to help alleviate arthritis and dissolve things like kidney stones and arthritis deposits. But there's no really, there's no well-documented studies. Big pharma fights all that information.
Well, and I wonder too, like, not getting enough people, like within that vegan pathway, and then once more people are in that, then more studies occur. And I think there is some studies out there on how it affects the hormones, right? I think
Yeah.
Jamin had sent me something like that before when I had asked before. I just can't remember.
Sorry, what was that, Miranda?
Do you remember, like, back in, I think it was like 20, I guess when we first kind of started, and I think I remember asking you on the effects of hormones on how, like, vegan, how supportive of it would be to the hormone levels. I think you sent me something that Dr. Sailesh had, but I should just message him, because I'm pretty sure he has a whole, like, how it affects the body, like, Word doc that he created.
And it's probably somewhere on the Food Healers website.
I should just pull it up, because I don't think it is a really big deal, and it is a really good way to approach, like, its piquing interest is how it so positively would affect the body, right? If you're going to come into a more coherent flow of your own body, which is going to bring you to more peacefulness and more happiness, like, what's not interesting about that? What's not wonderful about that?
If our feeding programs are going to happen, or those initiatives locally are going to be happening sustainably, regularly, that would be an opportunity for scientists to measure something before and after. I'm not sure. Have you reached out? Has anybody reached out to universities? And they probably know what it is, what questions they could ask. But if not, maybe we could have like a portfolio of potential questions that we're interested in solving. Over and out, not out, over.
The Food Healers website, yeah, just put the how it affects your personal health, because I think the last time I looked at the Food Healers website, there wasn't as much, and I just noticed that there is like so much more added from that initial visit. So I'm gonna have to go through it again. Is it okay to post it within my business, Jamin or Marco, whatever? Because I mean, I have a health conscious business, so it's like it's a good way to get the word out, and we have a really good community here, that they do take a lot of conscious interest in how they're living, and they love the educational points. They like the studies. They like to read. They are researchers. So I will go ahead and like do a piece on it, if that's acceptable.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Sweet. Cool. Good. Awesome. Now I have the link, and is there anything that is in correlation with that specifically, or maybe I'll break it up just to pique interest, or like I might just break the website up and post it like once a week, so like the specific link, like just kind of like, hey, just remember about this. Hey, just remember about this. Hey, just remember about this.
No, definitely.
Repetition is good, right?
Absolutely. And please invite everyone to come here for our block
Yes.
parties. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
Okay.
And Bill, welcome back.
Cool. It's like I was so stuck on like, how do I be helpful in another entirely different country?
And-
know?
And you know, this in January, the end of January, last weekend, we had the eighth vegan convergence. They happen quarterly now. And if you go on, find the Trello board on Food Healers web or Climate Healers website, you can review and watch all the recordings from all 8 convergences of all the different speakers. So that's a huge resource.
Okay, thanks, Marco. I never even thought like you know, just utilize the platform I have to. Sorry, guys. Like duh. I like to make things complicated, you know.
Yeah, you are kind of a complicated person.
Yeah, well, it's just how I am. It's the me that I am. It makes me super special.
I like complicated people.
Yeah.
Okay. If only I could just accept that part.
We accept you here, Miranda, just as you are.
Thank you. Thank you.
In fact, I was thinking of a song for Food Healers. Feed me once and feed me twice and feed me once again. It's been a long, long time.
Complication, Miranda, is that her name? Miranda?
Miranda, yes.
Miranda, complication just means, it's another word for intelligence.
Or is that what our ego tells us? And really what we should be doing is coming back to like simplistic living and just being.
Well, it gets tested as you test humanity's, answers to the questions that you pose to them. But it's, I mean, curiosity and complexity is certainly an element of intelligence, I believe.
Branka, take it on. Are you still there?
Franca.
Miranda. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hello. Miranda, I was wondering if you'd like to pontificate about the entelechy a little bit, because we could probably all do with understanding that and how to grow in it.
Well, that's a really big question, isn't it? Like,
yes.
Yeah, have hours.
I'd like to expound on it if you want to.
Oh, I think like bringing yourself to your highest entelechy, it's the highest sense of self. It's an access.
Well, no, just because people mightn't even know what the notion is. You're the one who introduced me to it. So maybe this is a good opportunity for more people to learn about what it is in the first place.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. And I think most of these people like in this room embody that sense of an entelechy, of their highest sense of self. Every single person I've ever met in this space is in a constant state of progress and growth and reinventing and re-nurturing and like coming to deeper thought, to a new depth within themselves. And they're in a constant state of coming to a knowing that to create a better world, we're coming to a point that we know we need to be of service of some kind. Like everybody here is very present in that. And maybe they don't know the word entelechy, but they do embody what it is, right?
Mhm. So how would you define it?
So this is where you're gonna catch me where like linear languaging is not my strong suit. Finding a definition within something is not my strong suit. To feel it is my strong suit. To bring people into a point of feeling something is my strong suit. So the definition of entelechy, I'll give it to you here. Is the realization of potential. A supposed vital principle that guides the development and functioning of an organism or an other system or organization. So you can be an entelechy within an entelechies. And it's exactly this space, right? The co-creation is a realized potential. Like being the point of creation is a realized potential.
Yeah, I like the entelechy as that seed that holds all our potential, and we just have to nurture it to let it grow.
Yeah.
We all have that innate entelechy seed element, in our, it's part of the makeup of the universe. Every molecule has the same access to the entelechy of the universe, and we just have to learn how to nurture it.
What's the connection between entelechy and what people call the divine?
Sorry?
What might be the connection between entelechy? Oh, what might be the connection between entelechy, that notion, and what people refer to as the divine?
What is the entelechy? What is that? I mean, I'm sorry, I don't know. What is
go back to the definition, and it is the realization of potential. It means the realization of potential.
Oh.
And that is, so in my clinic, that is what I bring people to, is the realization of their own empowerment, their own sense of self, their own potential. I facilitate a space in which they can realize that they don't actually need me. And that they can be a point of creation, that I only facilitate their empowerment. And that the correlation to that sense of divine, I mean, it's the divine source of information that gave me the idea to help people to reach their highest potential so that they couldn't have a sense and a knowing of the divine, of connection, of the universe, of whatever name you wish to give it, right? Everybody's languaging is going to be different. Not everybody's going to be able to use my languaging. Not everybody's going to be able to use Jamin's languaging. Not everybody's going to be able to use Franca's or Christopher. Everybody speaks in such a different way because they incorporate all of their learned beliefs, the limited beliefs, the cultural beliefs, the language of their homeland. Like it's an integrative process, right? So there's always a reach for more potential. But the problem with our humanness is that we think we're less than, and a lot of the world has trained us that we're less than, and that is so far from the truth. So far from the truth. Each and every single person in this space is a miracle. 1 in 400 billion chance to be born as the person that they are, and that is nothing less than a miracle. And it's whether you and I can hold the patience to discover what that miracle is in that individual. And that is what we need to move to teach, is that each and every single person has such great value. Every person's point of creation and co-creation has such value. Thanks, guys. I didn't know I was going to be talking about this today.
And Food Healers is a facilitator of the development of IntelliKey. And also let's think about the collective IntelliKey, what we can do together. That's what really excites me the most.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and like you look at that Food Healers thing. It's like if you were ever trying to create it, like we talk about like frequency, vibration, and spin being like those natural physics of the world, and if you're bringing somebody to full and total health, well, they're going to function as well as you give them, like, right? So that attention towards like good food and gifting food and making sure that everybody is nurtured, it's only going to progress in a positive movement in all of life, right? It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. And then I know I always have such a challenge with the climate stuff because it's so not within my knowledge realm. But you know, we burn up, we die, we don't live. I can get that far and I can get on board with that, and I keep continuing to listen so I can like integrate the information that you have there so I can have a better understanding, so I can promote a better way of life, right? But everybody in here has like their different point of like why they're here. You know, I'm utilizing the gifts I have to create to create service, to create a better world. Jamin's using the skills he has to bring everybody together in the marketing and the flair to bring everybody in and keep it interesting and have that entertainment value. And it really is effective and works and it's wonderful. And that's cool, right? Like everybody's got these unique gifts. I don't know everybody's unique gifts because I haven't talked long enough to everybody in here, or I would have pointed out yours. But it's cool. Like since coming into these Zoom rooms, I've never had more fun. I've never had more emotion with people I don't know ever until I coming in here, right? And it hasn't been a place of perfection, and there has been conflict. But you know what? I watched a lot of people work through conflict, and that was pretty cool too. But I feel like I'm overtaking the feather field, so I'm gonna put it back in the center, and I'm gonna let everybody take a piece of however they want to integrate what I've said, or move on to a new topic.
I love you, Miranda. You are awesome, sister.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, Bill, go for it, brother. You're on mute there, Bill.
Sorry, I was doing my normal Zoom. Handicap mode. Anyways, Miranda, very nice hearing your fresh views on what's going on right now. You are, you know, it sounds like you're a bright point of inspiration with all of us regarding what's happening here, and you express yourself freely, and all of your views have been warm felt and welcome. So thank you very much for expressing yourself so well. That being said, yeah, we're just continuing to just go on with the things that we've been exposed to and know through experience and time. And it's just important to know that we're focused now on a goal. I mean, the only reason I'm here is because we've got something to go on, or I would have just kind of, just not been present to anything going on. So the fact that I've got a little bit of I don't know what word to even call it. It's not hopium, it's not hope, it's inspiration.
You don't
You
think
say
it's
hope,
hope?
but hope is if you really dig into the definition of hope, it's imagining what hope is, actually imagining what you want to have happen without any action on your part. So it's kind of like dreaming without doing. Whereas what I'm focused on right now is specifically doing. So every action in my body is focused on action oriented items, which is not about the technical definition of hope, which is hoping that something just works out. I'm physically working on things to make a difference. Does that make sense?
You have hope and progression.
Yeah.
You have action.
Well, for me, everything in my world is action. I
Progress. Quantifiable progress.
Well, how about
Things
this?
that are actually real. That's cool.
Let me give you an example. So if 5 men go to work, or 5 people go to work on a project, and they can't make any progress on that, how much work actually got done? 0. So I mean, to me, everything's an action item, whether it's something clever in marketing, or so we come up with these ideas and then I put them out to Bluebee to get produced. We come up with some ideas with like Dr. Yi Tao at the COP, and he's blowing up, and I'm like, have you guys secured the domain names? Because I can pick them out right now. I can pick them up right now for like, a penny on the dollar. And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay. So I set them up with my, this is between us. Is this being recorded? Jamin, is this being recorded?